We know that everything is interconnected in life. Nothing is separate. It may appear so, and yet there is an energy, a consciousness which is flowing through all things. And we can pick that up inside of us, and it can animate everything that we do in our relationships, in our jobs and careers, in general, simple, basic living circumstances. There is this flow. If we can be in that, then life is going to be harmonious, magical. We're going to sense, feel, witness signs and synchronicity clicking in around us, like the energy of the universe is coming in to support us. The question is, how do we get into that flow state? And I think the first thing to question in understanding that is why don't we live that way in society? Why isn't life like that? And I think what's happened is that society has created an eddy current in the flow. It's captured energy, if you like, and built a system of control, a manipulation that is trying to gain power and resources, if you like. There are people, there's a consciousness that's trying to gain resources from society and control people within it. And so it's inculcated, it's impressed a system of logic and a way of behaving which in effect divorces people from the flow. It's constantly telling people that we need to strive and attain things out there, and manipulating things out there to get the best, apparently the best outcome. And yet all that this does is strangle the very life force from our experience of life, from what goes on in our general living circumstances. It stifles the life force from it, and we become tired and run down, disconnected, dissatisfied and unsuccessful, unfulfilled. So the crucial thing is to recognize this is going on, because when I start to connect into the flow and feel it and let it come through me and animate me, then I'm going to butt into all of those places, situations where the system is trying to engage me, trying to capture me back into the old way of doing things. And that's going to hit me internally. So I need to be aware that that's going on as I start to connect into the flow state, because I need to be able to work with that. So what exactly is the flow state, and what does it feel like? Well, the flow state is where the energy, the consciousness of the universe is coming down through the dimensions and speaking, animating through your higher vehicles of expression. It's giving you a sense, a feeling, a knowing of what to do. This is the way to go now. And that's in alignment with a general movement of the universe itself and through this particular place. It's like you're touching infinite potential. And when you're touching that sense of expansive openness in the moment of now, then something is going to arise. Energy is going to come forth and want to animate and express through you. And to capture, to harness, attune to, and let that come through, this is going to be divinely magical. You are going to create alchemical magic all around you, because really you're tapping into the source of the universe, and the energy is flowing authentically without you having to effort or struggle to fulfill on that. And it becomes joyous, fulfilling, successful, abundant because you're seeing reflections coming back to you. It's like the universe is now speaking to you and creating feedback loops to enhance, support your expression. That's what the universe is really doing. It's a mirror to authentic beingness. So energy, consciousness, guidance is coming in and flowing through us, through the higher vehicles. And it's inviting us to be a particular way. It's animating a sense of rightness and expression within. It's animating the soul and giving directive, a sense of impulse. If it's not a knowing that lands in a flash, then it's a feeling that comes in through the heart to move in a particular direction, to engage in a particular way. And so you're picking up these impulses, it's coming through you. There's a sense of openness to allow that, and attentiveness and awareness to allow that to come through. You're observing, witnessing, feeling that energy coming in, and then expressing from that place through the plane of mind, emotionally, physically. You're now animating from that place. Now when you're in that flow, when you're coming from that place, then it's fascinating because we know that everything is consciousness. Everything is one space-time continuum. And so the space-time continuum bends around your expression. And so manifestation happens as the result, as the effect of how you're being. Your beingness becomes the causality of life. Rather than you're efforting and struggling to gain something out there, you're just being yourself and trusting that the things that you need, the situations, the circumstances, the resources will come to you because they'll bend around you, reflecting that expression of authentic being. So we're opening up to a higher dimensional infusion of consciousness, of light. We're trusting and we're allowing that to come through, and trusting that the outcome will follow from that. So when you're in the flow state, there's a relaxedness, there's an openness to the senses, the perceptions that are coming through. There's an engagement with beingness, an active engagement with that, a noticing, a feeling, a perceiving, and allowing a sense of rightness to come through. To me, this is how we really know we're in the soul, because there's a feeling of rightness. You know, when you play a guitar and the guitar is in tune, you just know it's right. Even if you were from another planet and you'd not heard a guitar play before, you'd still know when it was in tune. And so it is with the soul. When you are in that authentic expression, it feels right, it feels divine, and nothing can compare with that. It's priceless. And so there's that feeling of rightness. When you're coming from that place, you notice that your engagement with the world is more impactful, more attentive. There's more reflection coming back your way. You start to build feedback loops with the external, signs and synchronicity. Nature will speak to you, for example, or the sign you see on a bus, or the lyrics of a song just happen to, as you pick up as you're passing by. Those synchronicities just start to click in, and so you're flowing, expressing, and the universe is speaking back to you. Not necessarily always from the 3D, or the people around you might not necessarily be supportive of that, because they're not necessarily used to someone coming from that place. But the universe will find a way of reflecting that back to you. So it's like you come into your groove of beingness, and and space-time, the universe is finding ways to reflect that back to you. Because what does the universe want, if not the expression of itself? Is that not what it is doing? You see it everywhere in nature. All of life seems to be expressing itself. And so that's what the universe wants for us. And if we're in that, then it's going to reflect back to us and it's going to create around that. So how do I get into this flow state? What are the things I need to be applying and working with so I can access and tune into it? Well, first and foremost, I need to be the observer of myself. I need to watch myself in all the external circumstances of life, when I'm engaging with people, when I'm in my job, even when I'm tapping on a keyboard. I need to be watching myself and how I'm experiencing that. Am I lost in that? Am I attached to the outcome? Am I contracting down? Do I need a specific thing to happen? Am I totally invested in what now transpires? And if I am invested, I'll feel the tightness of that, whether it be physical, emotional, or mental. And so I need to soften the need inside of myself for a particular outcome, which is the tightness contracts you down. You can't feel the flow. So you've got to soften that up. And being the observer of oneself and knowing that you have a different objective in life now. That's crucial, that really I'm looking for that flow and I'm watching internally for something to start to come through. And I'm confronting tightness as well. That's a crucial thing to it. I'm observing where I get needy or demanding or controlling or manipulative. I'm looking at those things because these all squash the flow. They dampen it. So I'm looking internally for that. And I'm letting go of the need for a specific outcome. I don't need it to go a certain way because I know that in the expression of my soul, then rightness is going to start to happen. So I work to let go of the need for a particular outcome. But that doesn't mean to say I just become kind of zoned out, wishy-washy, accepting anything goes. Not that at all, no. There still needs to be the attentive awareness to what is going on and what is being invited, and a commitment and expression into that. There still needs to be that. It's just that I'm not contracting down around the need for a specific outcome. Now, I may get focused, yes, of course. I can't necessarily complete a task unless I'm really focused on what I'm doing. But I need to be careful that I'm not lost in that. So even though I'm engaged in something, maybe I'm typing, or maybe I'm doing, I'm engaged in interactions with people at work, for example, maybe I'm engaged in that, or having even challenges, and I need to be focused on what is going on, so as to act, in a way that is fully engaged, but not lost in. So there needs to be a kind of openness with that, a peripheral vision, if you like, a peripheral awareness that can say, right, maybe this dynamic now needs to change and flow in a different way. So I'm not completely contracted down, but I'm open, still expressing, but I'm feeling the possibility of another dynamic coming through. Because the universe acts spontaneously. There's a magic with the flow. And if I'm expectant or needy or too focused for it to go a certain way, I won't pick that up. I won't pick up that instantaneous kind of sense. Yes, express like this now, be like that now. Let's go in this direction as opposed to what I would usually do. So you're opening to the infinite potential that something new and different can start to happen. So I need to be focused, aware, but staying open, relaxed. I need to be doing this as well. I need to be watching for the magic. I need to be feeling the sense of the pull and how that is. I need to be flexible in my body. You know, the feelings are going to come through my body and through my field. So yoga and deep consciousness body work, meditation, these are crucial daily activities to allow a softness, a fluidity that can pick up movement and perception, subtle perceptions that are wanting to come through. So I need to have that degree of openness, and I need to work at that as well, because as the flow comes in, it is going to touch, it is going to hit all of the contractions and tightness that I might have inside that become active by all the reasons why not to be this free and this spontaneous and this flowing, because society is not like that. And so it's programmed, conditioned mind, body, emotions, a tightness, like a rigidity that fits into the system. And so when I'm flowing, when I'm expressing, I need to be aware that I'm going to hit this tightness. And I need to have a process for unwinding the tightness. Instead of ignoring it, which often happens in society, you know, we feel the pain, it becomes discomfort, we'd rather push it away or suppress it, you know, with what we consume, food, alcohol, caffeine, all of these things. We'd rather suppress than confront because it's uncomfortable, it's challenging, it's testing. But it's important to say, right, well, what is important to me? You know, what is essential to my being? And do I want to be limited by that? So recognizing that as I come from the flow, I'm going to hit this tightness and having a process for dealing with it. I need to turn into it. I need to get inside the loop that makes me act in pre-programmed ways. I need to get inside that loop. I need to feel it. I need to express that when I get a moment. Maybe I can't do it right in the moment, so I need to regress into it. And I ask myself, what did I need? What do I think I want from that? What outcome could I not accept? You know, the universe has invited me to do something, but I couldn't accept that. Why not? What is it I think I needed from that situation? Do I really need that? Because as the one, we don't need anything. Everything is just flowing. So it's recognizing the tightness and having a process to deal with that, to get into it, to animate it, to express it, let it go. And then when I come back, when I come into situations like that again, similar situations, I won't react to that tightness. I'm constantly unwinding, softening it, and allowing authentic expression of soul to come through. So not only do I need to connect up, be open and relaxed enough to connect up to the flow, I need also to have a process of dealing with tightness when it comes up. Now, as I'm breaking through that tightness, that rigidity, what am I looking for now? Because it's not just in movement that we can pick up the flow state. We can pick up the flow state in every single activity of our lives, in our relationships, our jobs, in our day-to-day living circumstances. So what exactly are we looking for to attune to? Well, in this approach, in the Openhand approach, there are 7 characteristics of the soul, of what you would call your soul ray harmonic. That is the authentic frequency of you as a soul, totally unique to who you are, and yet has characteristics that are common to everyone. So the universe is inviting the animation, the harnessing and expression of one or more of those qualities. And if you can pick them up and attune them within yourself and come from that place, then you're going to be channeling the energy of the universe, and it's going to feel completely divine. So what are those characteristics? What are we paying attention to in order to attune and animate through us? Well, the first would be the Ray 1, which is the divine masculine. And that energy is the energy of commitment, of willpower, of strength, of courage, of persistence in the face of difficulty or adversity. It's that energy that keeps getting you up, even when at times you don't feel like you want to. It rises from within and it wants to strongly express with sovereign sense of being out into the world. And that would be the Ray 1. And then there's the Ray 2, which we often hear about, and that's the soft, divine, feminine energy, the more surrendering energy, the unconditionally loving, empathic energy that cares and looks after and serves people. We need to be careful, though, it's not dissolving of oneself. It's loving, yes, but also loving oneself. So it's that more soft, surrendered energy that wants to come through. Or it could be the Ray 3, which is the inquiring principle of the universe. And that is the child in you, if you like, the one that's curious, that's interested in every aspect of the universe and exploring into that. And so it will be the questioning principle, but not the doubting principle. You have to let go of the self-doubt, but allow inquiry simply to happen, the exploration, the innocent, vulnerable exploration of the universe to find what is authentic, what is real, what really wants to happen now. And this ray, the Ray 3, animates the interpreting principle, the interpreters of life, often through artistry, for example. Painters or musicians would probably have a strong Ray 3. They're interpreting the energy of the universe through art. Then there's the Ray 4, which animates the teachers and the diplomats in life. The Ray 4 is building bridges into other people's reality. It's honoring their truth without dishonoring your own. It's being able to hold multiple truths within a given situation. And in a crucible of creative flow, activity, exploration, until a direction naturally wants to go forth, which honors all parties in it. That's the Ray 4 diplomat. Then there's the Ray 5, the scientist principle, which is the business-orientated energy, the logical energy, the one that sees that the universe is configured from sacred geometry, and being able to read the geometry and see it click into place. It's that kind of aha moment as you realize something clicking in scientifically about the universe. It's that science, business-like, organized, logical principle of the soul that we're attuning to. Then there's the Ray 6, which is the spiritual teacher, the idealist in you. It's that which wants to express a truth, which wants to inspire others in a particular spiritual direction to a deeper meaning and exploration, inquiry of life. It's altruistic, it's often charming, it's often charismatic. And that energy will come through when you often feel inspired by something, some altruistic truth about the universe itself, and that you feel inspired to share. And then there's the Ray 7, the magician principle of the universe. It's that holding the space open for that spontaneous alchemical magic to come through. And the magician, the Ray 7, is risk-taking, entrepreneurial, trusting that something, if I hold the space open, is going to click and happen. That divine piece of magic is just going to fire up, and I'm going to let it come through me, attune it, commit to it, and trust in the outcome that it'll carry the situation forward. So these are the 7 rays, and the soul will dance as a harmony through them, depending on the circumstances and situation that you're engaged in. And so if you can be internal, if you can have at least 50% of your attention tuned inwards, picking up the sense and these vibrational frequencies, and then letting them animate through you, then you're going to be plugged into the universe and channeling that energy into the situation, and that becomes highly alchemical, highly creative, because everything is working together to click in, to bring the one into the manifest. And then space-time continuum bends around that expression. So these are the 7 rays. This is how approximately they'll animate through us when we're connected into the flow state. So now at this time in the shift, it's a wonderful opportunity to test, to open up, to trust that if I come from authentic beingness and I work from that by opening into this flow state, this sense of relaxed openness, if I come from that and trust in that, but I'm attentive and observant, I watch keenly for what the universe is inviting me to do, and I step forwards, I take the chance to step forwards with that. It's going to pull against everything I've known before, everything that the ego feels comfortable and safe with. It's going to pull against that. It's going to take me in a direction, however, that liberates, animates more of myself, and that becomes progressively fulfilling, rewarding, and joyful. And you realize there's nothing like being in that experience. It doesn't matter then what you create on the external. You will create beautiful things, yes. Tremendous reflections, yes. But what really matters is this feeling, this divine feeling inside of connection that you're a part of something bigger, a deeper meaning and purpose. It gives meaning to every single second of your life, every breath, every expression, every animation. There is nothing like it. So I would deeply commend an exploration and inquiry in how you get into the flow. What does it feel like when you open up and it starts to come through you? What do you notice? What are the signs and synchronicities? And as you come from that place, what do you recognize as the effect of it? And the more attention you place on it, the more successful and effective it becomes. Because reality bends around what you're putting your attention and focus on. So my encouragement, focus on authentic being. Soften, open into this flow state. Recognize it when it's there. It's like time slows right down and the moment expands right out. And then you're getting more input, more guidance coming down from the universe, and that starts to click in. Recognize this. Recognize when you're in your sense of rightness, and work to come from that more and more and more. And as you step forwards, you're going to find the universe start clicking in around you when it's going to be utterly divine. Yeah. Namaste. In 3, in 2, in 1. You're on that board, let's go for it.
Well, it gave me more of a call to the world, I guess you'd call it. Wabba-bee-bah!
Whoa!
publish it all on the website.
Yeah, really.
Everyone.